Billy Beige here, and I have the Loose Collectors The Crypt, the Great Wolves, Muraco of the West. Supposedly, from the back of the box, this is the more fiendish of the Great Wolves, and oddly enough, Dillum, the full black one, has where he's not the most finished. You'd think they'd just go ahead and go for that. But at first, I was going to pass on this figure. I was going to pass on this for a couple of reasons. One, I saw a lot of posts from overseas collectors and people who got these first, who weren't reviewers, having issues with joints breaking. Then it was like, oh, where's the Big Bad Toy Store ones? And that took forever to get here, because like this just came in recently. This came in like in the past like week or so. My understanding from like gossip and word of mouth was like, these were supposed to be fixed. These from Big Bad Toy Store weren't going to have the same issues with knees and stuff. They saw that and they were like, nah, you got to fix that shit or we'll take it. So I'm hopeful that that's true and that the Big Bad Toy Store ones will not have any issues. We're going to find out together. And the third reason that I was really not wanting to pick this up, because I mean, like, it's an awesome design. It's a fantastic design. And I do love werewolves. I love big. This figure's big. Monster. It's a monster. Dudes, it's fantastic. It's wonderful. I love big monster man. It's wonderful. But I was going to pass on it until I was like, okay, I'll give this a chance. I can customize this. I can pop off the head, pop off his feet, turn it into something else. It's going to be great. But again, I was going to pass on this because if you look closely at it and you think about it, doesn't it look familiar to another very popular werewolf figure? I'm going to give you a second and let you think about that. Like, what rather popular werewolf figure that's come out in the past year or so does it kind of look like? Now, I understand Muraco has where he's a dark gray and kind of white color there. I think the southern Great Wolf is Garros. His paint scheme is like spot on with Veteran William. Let's be honest. That one right there is the exact paint scheme here. That's just facts. Let's just be real. But, whoop, knocked him over. But there's no, you can't tell me that this figure was not inspired at all by Veteran William. The design, the proportions mostly, because this one does have where it has oversized arms, stuff like that. But come on. Now, obviously it doesn't have the same kind of joints, but that's after effect. I'm going off like sculpt work here. This is very inspired by this. And I'm going to let that go. We're going to go into review. We're going to see how this goes. So, getting him out of the box, because it's a big box. It's an e-box. I mean, it's... Oh, come on. Is there another... There's an odd piece of tape on here, of course. Now, I've had where I tried to buy Loose Collector figures in the past, and I've had issues. Because when they had their Monster Hide figure, I had where I jumped on that Kickstarter. Because, like, I had the Marvel Legends Monster Hide. I'm just going to air all my grievances in this video. It's going to be great. The Monster Hide figure. And I had where I pre-ordered. Everybody started getting theirs in the States and stuff like that. And it turns out I was one of, like, 2 people that somehow had their Monster Hide lost. And I spent about a month going back and forth with Loose Collector, going like, hey, my figure's not here. There's people in the neighboring county who have got this thing, and I have not. What's going on? They're like, oh, it's on its way, on its way. Month later, it's like, oh, well, you know, it's not our fault. I'm like, of course not your fault. I mean, like, shipping, you kind of have where it goes up in the air, but I mean, like, I bought it from you. You have where you're kind of a little bit responsible here. Just a little. Just take a little responsibility. And it ended up just being like this little bit of a fight. where it's just like I ended up with my money back. So now that I've aired that, let's start messing with old. Oh boy, that feels very tight. That's gonna need some heat. It's not as dark as I saw, like on the box. I feel like on the box it was darker looking, because this just has where it looks like it's just the gray plastic there. Because like usually the color of the joints is color paint. There's like some airbrush detail on there, so it's a little darkening in some spots. You got your boom boom hole for your tail. Everything else, I'm like, it's big. He's a big guy. That's cool. You can see his one head. I think it's supposed to have it. Yeah. It does look good. I do like how they added that there. You can see it from the back there. Big ball joint hole. Okay. Well, I'm going to take him and heat him up a little bit so I can mess with him some. But he does have like his fists. He does have his like grasping at claws. And I mean, like, it is, I think, I obviously, like, I prefer things done in one color plastic and then detail on there, so it has where you don't dick up paint so easy. So you know what, that is a positive. So I'm gonna heat this guy up, mess around with the joints, make sure nothing breaks, and we'll see. So after taking the time and giving him a hot water bath in a very big bowl, I was able to get that upper torso freed up so he can turn around there, move around, bend back and forth, front and back. Also where his hips can have where they can move back and forth, twist, things like that. Also where that like lower torso can move. But then also when it got to where the thighs meet the hip, I had where I put a drop of shock oil in each one, twisted those around and everything, got them actually moving instead of just barely squeaking and sounding horrible. But then I noticed where for the hip going into the thigh, the hip has a mushroom peg that goes into the thigh. You know, goes in there, friction, supposed to hold it, stuff like that. But that mushroom peg on the thigh is too long. I mean, on the hip is too long to rest flush in the thigh. So it has where it has like this weird gap. So it has where your hips meeting your thighs have where it's almost like a weird semi not on purpose ball joint, but it is a mushroom peg that's supposed to go into a mushroom shaped kind of hole there. And I don't know why that wasn't like something that was adjusted or anything like that when they were making this. So that doesn't quite sit flush. Other than that, I got like a loose hip, but I can take and come here. I can take and put some polyurethane in there, and I can like tighten this hip up, because like when it's out like this, it's fine, but when it's in like this, it's wiggly, and when this one's in like that, it's just that one. So it's just wiggly right there. Again, it's probably just where the plastic is malformed some way. I mean, like, you could only catch so many things, because, I mean, let's be real. I do get the Monday, Friday units of action figures. No matter how hard I try, I always have an issue. But something like this isn't a big issue. I put a drop of, like, polyurethane in there. Let it sit. Wiggle it around, work it back. Because, I mean, in this area, it's loose. But if I get it out just a little bit, it's kind of fine. Out here, it's fine. Kicking it forward, it's fine. Now, overall, I like its presence. I like its look. Again, it has some design things that I kind of feel like could have been done better, but it's not a lot of them. Again, like the mushroom peg going in here, because that's just weird. That's weird to me, because that's just like, you can see where that just kind of moves around. Because, if I could see it, show it in here, a lot of wolf crotch. Let's see if I get a light in there. If you can see in there, because this is hard to angle there. But you see where it doesn't sit flush, because again, that mushroom peg is too long. Don't know why they didn't fix that. Another thing is, because like I'm sure you've watched videos on this guy already. If you haven't, he has a lot of articulation. I don't know why for the double elbow here, because you know, hinge and hinge, because you get a lot out of here. It's a lot. But then for this one right here, it's stopped because of how this is done right here, because that can only go so far up before it hits. You think with like doing the double, you'd be like, hey, it's so I can like go an extreme amount there, and it doesn't get that. I don't know why this was done as this like double elbow instead of a single elbow, a lot like the Veteran William if it was only going to get this much range there, but it's not awful. This is just like, you know, kind of like, used to things like that. But you know what? In the end, I'm okay with that. Other articulation, he has a barbell in his head, so it goes up, down, side to side. And thanks to the main pieces here, because this really is its own separate piece. It's glued in the back, but it's its own separate piece, much like Veteran William. Okay, I'm gonna harp on it a little bit, so it's gonna happen. And a separate piece here, so it could do that. It's got the the jaw. It's friction based, so it's not loose, but it's not super sturdy right there. But I mean, if it falls down like a jaw is a jaw. It's not a big issue. Regular, ball joints there, no kind of butterfly, which I mean is different from the Veteran William. But I mean I like it without the butterfly because he is so big. Bicep cut there, double elbows. These are actually ball joints, which is weird, but I mean it's neat. It's neat. And it doesn't have where they're hard to change. So, that's another plus to it. After I freed up the ball in here, which there's a weird clearance issue in there. Because I mean it's all sculpted in there. It's got texture, it's got all going in there. But thanks to how it's done up, it's still gonna rub in there. So you'll get paint rub from trying to get it to move. But it's not super noticeable. You're probably gonna have them kind of crunch for it anyway. So you're not gonna see it. Again, not a big issue. Cool detail in the back again because it's sculpted all the way up. I do like that. Soft diaper area there. So I mean, that's just how figures are made basically now. At some point with a bunch of them, GI Joes, things like this. It's all over the place. Ball joint again. It has that texture on there. You have your thigh swivel. It works now. It's not as loud. It's still tight, even though I put the shock oil on there. Double knee. It's moving now. Again, it was not moving until I heated it up. And also, the strength of the legs, because I had him standing completely upright, and it was holding. Very good, digigrade. I guess you say this was the heel, and this is more the toe, if we're going to get, specific on how a digigrade foot works there. It's all well done. It's again, there's a few spots where it's just hey, of course, Billy Beige gets this one, where it's this one's a little loose. Again, put a drop of polyurethane there, let it sit, boom, 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 boom. It'll have where the detents would catch more, but it shouldn't be too bad. Here's again, Muraco with a Mythic Legion skeleton, NECA Universal Monsters Gillman, Mezco Owlman with a vulture head, a NECA Predator, White Veteran William, a Mythic Legion's Troll, and the original Veteran William. So, do I think you need the Loose Collector's Great Wolf Muraco in your collection? If you don't already have Veteran William, I think he is an excellent werewolf. This is the style of werewolf I prefer. This is awesome. Do I think you need to pay full price for him? Honestly, this is $95, $99. At the lowest, I think it's $90 on Big Bag Toy Store. I'll definitely throw the price up here because I just can't quite remember because COVID brain. I think it is a little too much. Not by much. Like if you get like $10 cheaper, go for it. If you think you're gonna miss out on it, go ahead and get it if you're interested in it. Because I mean, like it's not perfect, but it doesn't make me feel like, ugh, I wasted all my money. It still has where it's the style I want. It still has where it's the articulation I want out of a werewolf or any kind of like monster beast like this. It still has where, with a little bit of elbow grease, it's a big, awesome monster figure. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you have this figure already? Did you have issues with this figure? Did you look at this review to possibly see if you can take care of those issues without breaking the thing? Because again, he needs some TLC before he really gets moving. And maybe just, a little upkeep afterwards. But this has been Billy Beige. Again, tell me what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Please share this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.